everybody, this is your Vanz Centerstage back again for the month of March. And how have you all been? I really was looking forward to again after a month of gap. I'm so interested to show you my guest speaker for today. And guess where am I today? So if you can see, this is a very busy street here. And behind me is the famous Masjid Sultan. Right? If all of y'all know, this is one of the famous oldest Malay mosque here in Singapore, and I'm so excited to be here in this venue here because my fellow friend has introduced me to an exciting, very beautiful, very cozy environment here to do my shoot with my guest speaker today. So later on, we'll get a preview of that cafeteria. And most importantly, my highlight is of course my guest speaker for today. You will be interested to know who is she. I can even tell she can be a superwoman, she can be a Wonder Woman, because she can fall into that category anytime. This woman that I speak to made it very special for me because the topics that we shared was so much linked to what I feel as a mom, as a woman, as a lady, as someone that I can connect a lot of things with her. Yes, she wasn't just an ordinary person. She was just an average-looking young lady, but with an extraordinary mindset, which sets her apart with a lot of other people. Why was she so extraordinary? Yes, because she mothered a beautiful child. She mothered a beautiful child that came to the world for a reason, for a special reason. But this child is no longer around. But the child's legacy still stingles. And what's beautiful about this lady is that she's still so devoted to her life, to other children, to her husband, to her family. And that gives her the reason to the writing of her memoir, which is called Loving Satish, Parenting a Dying Child. Satish brought a meaningful reason in her life because without Satish, she will not be the woman she is right now. She became an author who had a very special meaning. And she self-publicized her own book. Isn't that most interesting? She self-publicized her own book. And here, I'm so pleased to welcome our guest speaker for today, Devi Ahru. Stay tuned to meeting her. Till then, Vanita. Hi, I'm back here, your Vanz Centerstage. With me now, you can see the lady in green is Devi Ahru. Hi, Devi.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Thank you for making time for us today.
Yeah, sure,
and
sure,
for
no
the viewers
problem.
here,
Yes.
I'm sure they are all very interested to know who is this Devi Ahru is all about because I've given them a quick introduction about you
Thank you.
prior. But I'm sure they want to hear from the lady, the Iron Lady itself. They would keen to know, is she the Superwoman or a Wonder Woman, like I've mentioned before.
Okay.
So, very briefly, let us know about your profession, about your husband, your kids,
Right.
and a quick introduction. I'm sure they will like to know.
Okay.
Yeah.
My hubby is Aru. He's working in a computer firm as a product manager. And my two kids, Subitra and Shaktivil, who is with me right now. She's 18 and she's just finished her A-levels. And Shaktivil, he's in secondary 2, Benjamin Secondary. And another angel that I had, and I've missed him right now, is Satish, who I've wrote a book about, Loving Satish.
Okay, this is the book that I was
my-
telling. We are going to talk about it later. Actually.
Yes. So he's my third angel. So both of them are doing great, and I'm teaching. I'm an English lecturer at private schools. On and off, I get contracts from schools like Kaplan, and so I teach and I cook and I write.
Wow. Okay, so she's wearing multi hats. This lady is wearing multi. She's a writing. She's a mother. She's a wife. And she doesn't look like a mother of 18 years old. That's the most important thing right now. She looks very young. She looks like in her early 20s.
like you.
Yeah. We come to that later. Okay, now you have spoken that you have your kids and your Satish,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So tell us something about your Satish.
Yes.
How he came into life, because I understand when I shared with you, Satish came with a very special reason in your life.
Yes.
And he has made a very impact to you,
Yes.
to his family, to a lot of Singaporeans in Singapore actually.
Yes.
So let us hear from you. What was that?
Okay, I had two healthy kids, Subitra and Shakti. So within a span of a year, after having my second son, I decided to have a family of another boy or a girl. So it would be like a family of 5. So I was pregnant, I think 1 year after my second son, and I had Satish. So what happened was I had symptoms of having, diarrhea and low blood pressure during that 9 months, which I didn't have for the 2 other kids. And when he was born, we couldn't get the diagnosis of why he was always tired. He was always tired. When we brought him back from hospital, he's always tired. So whenever he has a glucose drip on, he will feel good and he doesn't fall off to sleep.
So which year was Satish born?
He was born in 2003, 23rd June.
Okay.
Yeah. So he came in with a very complicated and unique situation, a disorder which was not diagnosed in Singapore before. So our journey to finding the diagnosis was about left us with only 10 months of we knowing what was going on, and we had to find time to embrace his condition and also find time to fine-tune our minds to think that he's going off and we have to let him go. So that was about, we only had 2.5 years with him. So he left us in 2005, 30th November.
And you did mention that the condition that he had,
Yeah.
it is a miracle that he survived for 2.5
Right,
years, right? So because doctors actually have said that it was indeed a miracle that no one could have actually survived this long with this condition.
Right.
Maybe you'd like to let us know what was the condition, what was the name that finally they diagnosed him with?
The doctors were really worried, and they were breaking their heads on finding out what was happening to him, because he had severe infections and he was born with diarrhea. That means he simply can't hold food, or he can't swallow. So that's why
he was releasing stools
yes,
since he was born?
Yes, since he was born, and it was all loose. So about in a day he might go to having like 16 times, and he can't keep any fluid in his body. So he was totally dehydrating. So the doctors, what they did was to get his diagnosis. For the first 1 year, we sustained him first, make sure that he can put on some weight, and they were giving him fluids intravenously, so not through feeding but through drips. So we were trying to sustain him. But then when the diagnosis first was Australia, they gave us the condition. Name of the condition is CTG, congenital glycosylation disorder. That means his cells could not absorb sugar. Basically, any form of sugar doesn't go into cell. And every one of us, we need sugar.
Yes.
Our cells need sugar to process and to for us
For
to
normal
live,
processing
even to
of the
live.
body.
It's like diabetics, but it's in a very extreme. And only babies they have recorded in US and Europe has this condition, and in different types. But as in A1A, 1B, but Satish condition is a type X. That's what we found out. That means he had this condition, but the type of that condition was never recorded before. And he's one of the babies in Asia actually who had this condition. So I had to now at this point of time have to thank the doctors who didn't know what he had but tried to sustain him, and also the scientists there who encouraged us to just go on and be with him 200% and give him what he needs, because we were thinking of flying him off to the different countries to get the medicine, but then they said no, it's not viable because the team in Singapore was doing a good job.
Which hospital was that?
2 hospitals, one is KKH and National University Hospital, NUH.
Okay, and you were telling me that the hospitals played a very important part in ensuring that he
Yes.
was very well taken, and
The
she
team.
felt that the caretakers from part of the hospital was helped her
Yes.
to build up a lot of strength in her during this ordeal for her. And I believe that Devi, during this period when Satish, the 2.5 years,
Yes,
there's a lot of anguish. When I read your book,
right.
okay, Living Satish, Parenting a Dying Child, I felt very emotional because I could feel a mother's love, because here she was trying to be reacting to a very normal things that's happening to her, because she had 2 normal kids here, and here her 3rd child was very extraordinary, and she had no clue what's happening to the child, because even when the doctors couldn't find a reason for this, she had no clue how to actually to find remedy for his condition. And she was feeling very pain. She felt that she was incompatible, like she was guilty that she was not being the right kind of mother. So a lot of anguish went into your mind.
Yes.
So it affected your family quite badly.
It affected my self-esteem as well. We women, we think we should produce a healthy child. So for me, it first affected my self-esteem, and then a lot of questioning. Why did I give birth to a child like this? And then after that, it will come into blaming. I mean, I've read a lot of books like couples blame each other. That's why our child is like this. Maybe it's because of your genes, because of my genes. But we didn't get into that part because my hubby was like strongly believing that it has happened. We have to move on. Don't look back and regret. So because of him, I kind of pull myself through, and I was hanging there by a thread. When you go to a doctor, he's supposed to give you medicine for what you're feeling.
Yes.
And when we went from doctor to doctor, pediatrician to pediatrician, and the expertise couldn't say what my son was going through, I was thinking, what am I going to do with you? So I barely slept for the 2.5 years. I could safely say that 4 hours is a gift if I slept, because I had to watch him and I thought that he would die if I closed my eyes. So I was in the threat of insanity. I was just being a lunatic.
Crazy.
Yes. And when the doctor said that, prognosis is he has a good 10 months, and they told me that you could leave him behind in the hospital, the nurses would care, because they were sensing that the 2 other kids were like not getting a lot of attention. I told them that my kids have a whole good life. Maybe 10-20 years I'll still be there for them, but my son only has 10 more months, so let me just be with him 200%. Even if I go to the loo, I carry the phone with him. I tell the nurses I'm coming back. And he also felt the love. You see, when somebody is sick, right, if you are sick, you can call out to your mom.
Yes.
Right? And you can say, hey, give me that, give me this.
Speak. We can
yes,
speak. Yeah.
But my son was not able to speak. He was 2.5 years old. All he does is he takes his pacifier and he waves at me, and he only understands love. So if you go and touch him without love or frustration or anger, and if I'm crying, you know what he does? He'll just pat me at the back
To give you a kind of
assurance that this is a learning. This is a learning you have to share with the world, and I will always be there with you.
Amazing. It's really amazing.
Yes.
So this was the connection you had with your child for the 2.5 years.
Yes, only through the eyes. I know he's in pain. When he cries, he signals. I and my mate were the ones who were able to connect with him in that level where he doesn't have to talk. We know what he's going through with him. My hubby, unfortunately, had to spend a lot of time working because he has to sustain the family.
Obviously, he was the sole breadwinner for the family at that time, right? And because she had to give up her job, and he was the one bringing back the bread and butter home. And
So-
she was being very thoughtful in the sense that she couldn't afford to give him more stress,
Right.
and she handled everything by herself.
Yes.
So you're talking about your maid here.
Yeah.
At one time, I read from your book that at one time you showed all your anger on her.
Yes.
I think all of us at one point of a time, we all have this tendency where we want to show anger, our frustrations to someone, and it always has to be our nearest person, and it can be also to our domestic helpers. In this case, Devi, you also encountered such thing. So how did that come upon, and how was that affected?
Yeah. First of all, I wrote that chapter. When I was writing the chapter, I also had a maid at the time. When I was writing the chapter, that's just a year ago. I was thinking that I wanted to, because you see, like what I told you, I could write a book about just me and my son, and make sure that my son is glorified in this thing. Nobody. I wanted to put myself as a mother who was going through the reality of anger. Okay, my anger was through the science world who couldn't find a medicine for my son. My anger was the frustration that I couldn't spend 2 good hours with my kids. My anger was like my life, is just pulled away. My reality or the life that I dreamt of is pulled away. All this anger manifested into something, a person who I paid. You know what I mean? So a lot of women take advantage that just because I paid, I could do this, to this person. So I put this passage. I mean, it was 9 years ago. I could have just not written it, but I wanted to show women at the most vulnerable time of, in your time, don't energize and put the blame on somebody else. You know what I mean? And when I come across the papers where people are not giving them food, starving.
Abusing,
Oh,
yeah.
it's because of my condition. I'm thinking that she's also a human being, you know, and she's there because her family's in India waiting for her paycheck. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And that is so not good to be abusive. I
Yes.
apologized to her so many times, and after writing the book, we were trying to look for her
Because naturally,
yeah.
she's the next person you can look upon when
Yes.
your child was. She
Exactly.
was one of the most important caretaker for your child at
Yes,
that time.
yes,
Because
yes,
as a lady, you needed some moments of the time where you need to go to do your errands, your personal
Yes,
errands,
yes,
and all that
yes.
stuff.
Yes.
I'm concerned. How did the two kids actually accepted Satish into them? You know, were they able? You know, seeing that their little brother was not able to function like them.
Yes.
There's a lot of queries from there. How did you manage the
Yes.
young kids around you? The two young kids mindset.
My second one was like always follow the sister. So whatever the sister does, he will follow. And what happened was this also was written in the book, and how I managed to get them is just because people around them kind of figure out that Satish had something that was maybe infectious. So my daughter was not invited to a lot of parties and all that, you know.
Invited? You
Yes,
mean like
like, you know,
maybe-
birthday parties,
Uh-huh.
or you know, we had neighbors and a lot of our friends stayed in the same flat. So what happened was, you know, they used to go to parties, you know, celebrations like Pongal or Diwali.
Okay.
So what happened was, invitations were getting lesser, and my kids realized this, and they had some kind of anger. Like, and I was always at the hospital. So when I came back one day, my daughter was like, she told my mom actually, nowadays I get invitations. I think is Satish going to spread some kind of disease to us, Pati? Then my mom said, no, Satish is not. Oh, okay, but my friends say that he might, you know. And then she went on eating her meal. So my mom was like, oh gosh, she got some interpretations that Satish had something rare, but it can be infectious. So that was the time I thought through, and then I sat down with them with the drawing block, and then I drew, and then I told them whatever they need to know in their level, you know, that he can't absorb milk, and just because he can't absorb milk, he has this diarrhea, and just because he can't absorb food, he might. There are a lot of other special kids who have different you know, conditions, and Satish's condition is this. So, and I got you know, permission from the sister to bring them to the ward and see other kids as well, because all they know in their life is perfect kids, you know. So, and the friends also who have not seen special needs children, you know, kind of gauge that, you know, my son was not the type who could be touched as well. So when I educated them, my kids fell in love with him, accepted him.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
So it's a
it
beautiful
all happened in
journey,
the last 10 months of his life, Satish's
But
life.
you must be taking you a very strong mindset to actually sit down and explain things to your two kids, because
yes.
you were going through a lot of tremendous stress at that time.
Yes.
And coming yourself to put yourself into a mother of other two kids, because I'm sure you at that period you could have neglected them at one point.
Yes,
Which you have stated in your book.
Yes.
And you are now sitting them to making sure that they are not neglected, and
Yes.
understanding that their sibling is going through a period of a different period, like they are not like a normal children.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
they are able to play.
I tell you what, everything in motherhood, everything that we do, they don't learn. They just see through example. Whatever you do, they emulate you. You know.
Definitely.
So
They're
if
the role
you are
models.
caring for your
Agree with
child, right, and then you explain to them, and then, you know, nowadays my kids know what they do when they're going through stress and they're slamming. If they're showing me that they're shutting down, and I ask them what's happened, they take a paper and they write to me, see, I have exam next week, right? So this is the degree of measurement. I'm having stress now. And the ex-friend, right? No, the friend I was talking about, okay, broke off with the guy.
They follow
And the
your
guy
trend.
is texting me.
They're following
I'm
your
like,
trend.
okay, I understand. Okay, we understand each other. So, okay, what do you want me to do now? I always ask them, what's the step that mommy can do? I will never stop at, why are you slamming the door? What are you doing? You know, what's this behavior? I always thought you will never be able to teach. Children teach us, you know.
I totally agree with
They
you,
teach
Devi.
us
I
so
totally
many
agree.
lessons.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's why I became now I'm very popular with my two kids, and also, you know, the friends also, they ask my daughter, oh, your mom is so, you know, enthusiastic. She's full of life, you know, she throws you birthday parties, surprise birthday parties. What is she doing? And I'm always in her life, you know.
Good.
Like, I'm participating. A lot of mothers, right? okay, like for you yourself, you're so successful and you have 2 kids. How do you know that I know my child? It's through everyday communication.
Every day. Yes, I agree
Right?
with you. It's every day I need to communicate, it could be just a small little chats, but I agree with you. It's
Yes.
what they see from you, because automatically, even if you don't chat with them, they'll come to you for that chat.
Yes.
Yeah, they look forward,
Yes.
hey, why is mommy is not talking to you?
Right.
Yeah, they come
Right.
to you and they'll find a way to follow your steps, the way you talk, how you walk.
Yes.
I still remember how my son and my daughter actually walks to me and reenact the way I actually move and how I talk,
Do that,
and come to
do
me in my bedroom, say, the way they do come. I was like amused, how stressful I am. It's like, okay, they are here now, come to trouble me.
Yes. Yes.
I agree with you on that aspect. Yeah.
My son, my second son, he always like, I'll always tell him, look me into the eyes, tell me what's stressing you right now. He tells me this, look, what is happening to you now? Why are you so stressed? I really like
That's
that.
very interesting. That's so beautiful of being a mother.
Right.
Having
right,
kids around with
right,
us.
right.
So here, actually, Devi, maybe you want to show the viewers about your book here.
Yes. Okay. Why self-publish and
Yeah, she
why I wrote
self-published.
the book. Okay. This book has been in my laptop for almost 10 years. Okay. Chapter after chapter after I write, I always feel that what am I going to send this message? What kind of message am I going to send? Am I good enough? So to answer that, am I good enough? I did my master's in education. I did my TESOL. I went out to teach. And
That was after Satish.
Yes, that's all I did. Yes, and every year I promised myself I will do something, something that is daredevil, that will even question my, oh my goodness, can I do this? So I've ran a 10-kilometer stand chart marathon.
You're a marathon runner?
Yeah, I ran the 10.
That I didn't know. Sorry.
And then every year I challenge. So last year my kids were like, can you just publish the book? It's been there. Every time when they tell me something, oh mom, what are you gonna do? Oh, this year we're gonna publish the book, and I never do it. Because I don't know how to go about doing anything. And I was thinking, and one day I was so stressed, and one of the contracts from one of the private schools just ended. I was so stressed. It was my daughter's 16th birthday, and I had to tell you this because every woman there, you have a story to tell and you have to tell it. So I was telling my son, who's going to read the book? You tell me. Then I was typing, then he showed me YouTube. Wrecking Ball, Miley Cyrus. So he said, Ma, this one I'm not allowed to see. So Akka saw it because I know he saw it. So they say, but you see, 3 over million people view this rubbish book about Satish. You publish, people will read, okay? Because this is a message of love. And I was like, okay, we are doing it. So I from 100,000 words, I wrote about 25 chapters. I got the editors to look into it, and they cut off the chapters which is more viable for the readers, something useful for them. Every chapter that you're reading, it has tips as well. So that's what we put it in. So it's a very unique kind of memoir that I've written that will benefit caregivers.
Definitely, because I got hold of myself this book because I wanted to know more about her book, and I read every chapter. It took me just 2 days because I couldn't put away the book. Each chapter, right, it actually brings me closer to the next chapter, because I was putting myself in her shoes and felt every emotion in every second. Every page of the book actually brought in a lot of emotions. I think all mom or even parents or future parents or even dads, everybody should have a copy of this book and read it, and you will understand what it feels to be going through a lot of problems in life. Because this book is not just talking about looking after a sick child or dying child. It actually shows you the path of how to endure that. We go through a lot of difficulties in life, a lot of experience, anguish in life, but how we overcome them with people around us, with loved ones around us, and self motivation. These books actually says every parts of it and how to motivate ourselves to come out from that pain and anguish that we every day encounter. So maybe Devi, you want to let us know. Later on, we'll give a link below, and we will get you to know how to get this book if you're interested. How much is there a special price for our viewers today?
Yes, definitely. It's going for $15.90 for your viewers, and the offer is for the next 14 days.
Okay, awesome. Right. So if you want to get hold of this book, yes, do PM myself or Devi Ahru, which I will send the link, her Facebook link, which you can contact her.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
So that comes to us to your second project, right?
Yes.
Yes, she is all excited to share with me her second project. I didn't know much about it.
So let's hear. 2016 Daredevil project.
Wow.
Okay. So we are supposed to stop at the book 1. So what I receive comments is like, I can't get through the first 4 chapters, Devi. Is this you, Devi? Because most of my colleagues know me as a very enthusiastic teacher. They didn't know that I had a path that led me to who I am today. So they kind of, Devi, I don't want to read. I truly respect your son, but it's too traumatizing for me to read. But I wanted to write something that will uplift women, and how I went about getting myself into this. Of course, coffee and chocolates help, but
Agree? Chocolates, call me anytime.
2 cups of coffee calls me every. So I wanted to write something that uplift women. Okay, so uplift is such a big word. On my small way, how do I keep going? So I'm gonna give them tips. I'm gonna write about some mindset changes that might help you.
So is it a second book?
Yes,
It's going to be a second book?
It's going to be
Wow. So we're looking forward. And
another 50,000 words. I'm on the way there now. So
Okay.
hopefully,
You're going to self-publish it?
yes, I'm going to self-publish it.
Awesome, that's really applaudable for you.
Thank
Awesome,
you.
awesome,
Thank
it's
you.
something that here I'm struggling to think of ever writing a book, but she is thinking of a second book. That's really something that is keeping me pushing to another level up.
Yes, you should be doing that. Yes.
Let's see. I hope the viewers support. I think we can always achieve something.
Right.
So when do you plan to launch this second project? Maybe just give us a hint. Keep us abreast.
Yes. I hope that the platform that I'm creating for the first book, my readers will support me for the second book. So probably in June, coming June,
Okay.
I'm okay. Let's just say June. I'm hoping for 23rd June because
Okay.
that's his birthday.
23rd June. Okay.
So I'm giving deadline to myself.
Yes, she's giving deadline. But it's okay. Deadline is help you to push towards your dreams closer.
Exactly. So yeah. So I'm hoping that your viewers and my readers will become and we
Is there
to
some
do a
help
launch.
that we can help you in any way, Devi? What kind of help do you think we all can extend our help?
Any form of help, like to do the launch, like the venue or anything that can help me to do the launch,
Okay.
and create
Awareness.
awareness. Yes.
Okay. So I think viewers, we all can play a part in any form. Here she's trying her very best
Yes.
to shout out her next launch. And I believe that this launch will be something different because she was not able to do a launch for her first book.
Right.
So she wants to successfully bring in the second launch with a special twist. And I believe that all of us should play a part in any form. It could be your sponsor's contact or your venue or anybody. Because I want to be part of it. I've spoken to Devi about it, that I would like to be part of this launch. And hope if any of you are interested, do PM Devi at any point of time, and we'll work on that. All right.
Yes.
So
And it's more about when we do a ripple effect, it will become a wave. So if I do something and if I can show an example, then other women could follow this and they could take it as the second option to write about their life and uplift others as well. It's a small part I'm doing for my society, I feel, for women.
yes.
And most of my readers are Indian women now. I'm so supportive, and every time they get the book, they give me very good feedback and review. So I want to thank them as well, and I want you guys to help for everyone to grow. Let's
Definitely.
grow together.
Definitely, I like that word. Say, well, let's grow together, because
Right.
a small little step that you take helps to grow everybody together. It is
Yes.
because one woman can achieve only small part.
Yes.
But many people together, many women together, can achieve a lot of more. Millions.
Like when you contacted me, right? I was like, okay, you're going to do an interview, and you said, okay, this is what I'm going to do, and this is my goal. I'm like, wow, she's brave, man. She's just doing like a YouTube channel, and then you are getting different people from different walks of life and trying to understand their life and where they come from. And then I was asking how many viewers. It doesn't matter. We're just starting it first. I was like, okay, we will start it.
Yes, of course.
We will start it, and we will just get the
You
gear
see, my
going on.
idea, like I said, it's not getting the viewers. Basically, getting what I wanted to do.
Right.
Okay, the
Right.
rest of it, my viewers will understand
Yes.
how I'm working towards it.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why I wanted you to come and just say. She was like hesitating. Should I say about my second launch? I said, go ahead. It's something that you want to do. Don't feel, when you restrict yourself, that's where the whole problem
Right,
is actually
right.
arises. Don't restrict.
Yes.
Let go. Tell. So she told me I want to take this opportunity to tell about the second launch. So she is sharing. So let's us all give us a promise that we will help her in one way or another. Okay? So we will come back again for the second part, where Devi is going to go for the fire round, and we're going to share some interesting pictures her very memorable pictures that she wants to talk about. So stay tuned for more with Vanz Centerstage.